Super Smash Bros. Was and is an amazing series that transcends the borders of video games to bring so many of our beloved characters together to Smash. I personally was too young to experience Smash 64 when it first released, but playing Smash Bros. Melee with my older cousins was probably the single most addicting thing I have ever experienced. Slowly, I moved on to Brawl when it released, and then I made my way over to Smash Bros. Ultimate. By the time I had bought and thoroughly played through Smash Ultimate, I started hearing news like Masahiro Sakurai Semi-Retiring, and I started wondering, what's next for Super Smash Bros? The big theme for Ultimate was that everybody was here, and that slogan, while making Ultimate an amazing game with every single character, ironically, may have caused some more long-term problems for Nintendo. I think Smash Bros. Has kind of backed themselves into a corner and has a similar problem to Pokemon. Too many characters. In Pokemon games, the Pokedex is only getting bigger and bigger, and with each new game, they cannot possibly keep including every Pokemon ever. As much as I'd like them to, I think there's a point where it's going to be almost impossible. Hell, the slogan, gotta catch 'em all, that was the most famous thing ever for them when I was a kid, hasn't been a thing for what feels like decades. Smash Bros. Is now in a similar situation. For the next game in the series, are they going to keep adding more and more characters and make sure everyone is still here, like people would want, essentially? Or are they going to reduce the roster size and try to go for more of a reboot of the series with less characters? Well, I think they could try to keep the whole roster together and add more characters. Eventually, that bubble will burst, and we will have to have less characters anyway. So, with that in mind, I think a reboot of the entire series is likely to come sooner rather than later. And hey, maybe even the next game, maybe even Smash Bros. 6 will have that. So, if we do actually get a reboot, there's definitely some things that I'd like to see. Firstly, I'd love a new, fully in depth, fleshed out story mode. Smash's Ultimate's World of Light story mode was definitely fun, but I think I prefer the Subspace Emissary approach to the story mode more. I'd like less walking around on a board and more detailed cutscenes that show our favorite fighters interacting. I'd like a reason for them to be with each other and all that stuff with detailed cutscenes involved. I'd also like an interestingly written story with an interesting villain. Maybe all the bad guy characters in the game can form an evil alliance, and one by one we have to go through everyone's worlds and take them down. That would be dope. I definitely think that would be interesting, but I'm sure you guys can come up with way better story material than I can. So let me know in the comments what you've come up with. I just remember spending hours on Subspace Emissary as a kid, and I know it's still super popular with the fans. So a comeback would be insanely amazing just for everybody. Honestly, I think that was like my one big thing I'd like in the next Smash Bros. Game, and I don't really have too many problems with much else because let's be honest, Smash Ultimate is an amazing game. So before I get into what characters I'd like to see, let's get into some nitpicky stuff. I'd like trophies to make a comeback. Online can be a bit laggy at times, so that definitely I think could use some improvement. And if we do get a reboot, I'd like a complete overhaul of as many moves and costumes of characters as possible. I want everyone to have their updated costumes from the newest games with all of their newest abilities. For example, Mario, maybe he can wear his outfit with Cappy on it, and he can have moves that are related to that we saw in Super Mario Odyssey. That would be crazy. But I want everyone to have updated costumes with all their newest abilities. I want brand new Smash moves and as many different skins as possible. Not just a color swap. I'd like to see costumes that are references to different games. Like I said earlier, maybe we could have the original Mario outfit, and then we can have the Cappy version of the Mario, and then we could have there's infinitely different ways you could do that with Mario. Maybe we can have like a fire mushroom Mario, which already exists, but you know what I'm trying to say. Obviously, that can't be done for every character, but it would be cool to see as much as possible. All right, now let's get into the good part, the characters. This list will be a list of characters that I'd personally like to make an appearance. Now, that doesn't mean it's right or wrong, obviously. It's just my opinion. But I know how people can get since they're so passionate about this game. So feel free to let me know who you'd like to see in the comments below. Firstly, let's take all the characters from Smash Ultimate and reduce them to around 35. Give or take a couple depending on what I feel like. But these are 35 around-ish, 35-ish that I'd like to make a return. All right, so these characters should be in the Smash reboot. Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, Samus, with both regular Samus and Zero Suit Samus back together as one character. I think that's don't understand why there's multiple. Obviously, that they may play differently, but I'm not a Samus main, so that's not my area of expertise. Yoshi, Kirby, Fox, Pikachu, Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon, Peach, Ice Climbers, Bowser, Zelda and Sheik as one character, Falco, Marth, Mewtwo, Roy, Meta Knight, Pit, Wario, Snake, Sonic, King DDD, Mega Man, Little Mac, Pac-Man, Ryu, Cloud, Bayonetta, Inkling, Ridley, King K. Rool, Simon, and Isabelle. I tried to have each franchise have at least one character as a representation, but at the same time, I'm not 100% familiar with every single franchise that's in Smash Bros. So I tried my best for fans of every franchise to get something, a little bit here and there. I also really wanted to add Ganondorf since he's a villain, and Smash could really use some more. I think that would be, interesting. But I don't really like the concept of Echo Fighters. Don't get me wrong. I understand why it's done, so it's not like I'm mad at it or anything. I understand that it makes it easier, but I just think every fighter should be way different from each other. And if we're gonna reboot it and have less characters, why not, do that? If he was given his own move set, then probably I'd consider it. But based on this video, not even the Smash Bros. Announcer likes him.
Next, Bowser, Mario, Ganondorf.
Now, let's add around 10 brand new characters that I feel have an actual chance of making the series. So, as much as I'd like to include Goku or Shrek or Shaggy, it probably isn't, the most realistic. First and foremost, I think everyone is anticipating Waluigi to join the battle. He's literally the only Mario bro that isn't in the game, and he should have been in the game a million years ago instead of just being there as an assist trophy. A couple others include Shadow the Hedgehog and Dr. Eggman. I can understand people maybe wanting to see Knuckles or Tails or Amy, but Shadow is my favorite, so I'm going to selfishly choose him there. And I choose Eggman since he's a villain, and it'd be nice, like I said earlier, for a series to get a couple more villains. Next, I would definitely say Matt from Wii Sports is an interesting choice to replace Wii Fit Trainer. I just don't like Wii Fit Trainer, I'll be honest. Matt is probably the most popular Wii Sports character, and I know it would be interesting to see him square up with Little Mac. After that, I decided to go with Funky Kong over Dixie Kong just because, personal preference. I like Funky more, but I wouldn't be mad if you guys choose Dixie, you know what I mean? So either or, whatever floats your boat. Pokemon definitely needs an entry, so I chose Armarouge, or honestly any other bipedal Pokemon that's somewhat popular in order to take Lucario's place. And I also threw in Gengar because I've been looking at this a lot. A lot of people want Gengar. I think that's pretty doable, right? So at this point, I was starting to run out of people, so I just said screw it, and I chose Toad and Rayman. I think they probably will be in Smash, and I'd like to see what they can do. I mostly try to stick to characters that would be as likely as possible, mixed in with some things that I like. So let me know in the comments, if you wanted to see other certain characters and whatnot. I decided not to talk too much about, DLC fighters and whatnot, because I feel like that's when you get, characters from other franchises and more often that type of stuff. And that could be pretty wild, So I just thought that it would be, I guess I would leave it up to you guys, the fans. I'm not like I'm not a fan, but yeah, I leave it up to everyone in the comments just to kind of be like, who would you like to see for DLC? You know what I mean? I think everyone agrees that Super Smash Bros. Is a legendary series. And while we may not agree with the specific direction we want the series to go, we all want Smash 6 to be the best version of itself humanly possible. So, how do you feel about the next Smash Bros. Game? What direction would you like to see it take? Who would you like to see join the next Super Smash Bros? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening to an Idiot Rant. If you like my work, please consider liking and subscribing. Check out these videos as well if you like my work. And this is Plot Armor Games, signing out for the day. And we will see you in the next video.